You know, a lot of you guys tell me I work in a dream garage, but tonight I'm going to show you what I go through. What a nightmare sometimes it is.
Nick's Garage is supported by Atlas Equipment and K-Tool International. People call Nick's a dream garage. And to a certain extent, it's true. Nick strives every day to deliver perfect machines to his clients from all over the world. He's built a reputation for restoring engines and cars that most people can only dream of owning. But Nick knows firsthand, the business of building dreams comes with plenty of nightmares.
Welcome to Nick's Garage, the dream garage. You know, a lot of people tell me that, Nick, you work in a dream garage. True, but behind the scenes, not everybody sees it. You know, like you want to just drop in the engine, turn the key like I do with most of my restorations. That's great. That's a dream garage. But some of these cars that come in, for me, they're chaos. This is where I start. Every night, I keep bringing cars in, and every morning, I keep bringing cars out. Why? A lot of people bring in their cars for a little job, and when the little job, sometimes they come a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks later. So what do? In and out, in and out. You bring it out in the morning, customer doesn't show up all day. At night, you get back in, you start it, you bring it into the shop. What are you doing? They're carbonizing the spark plugs. And then, you know, I've gone through 4 or 5 cars every night. This is what I do. Every night, bring him in. So anyways, let's start. We'll take this Mustang in, 69 428 Cobra Jet. Then I'm going to bring the Fury in. Then we'll look into some further details in the shop, what I go through. There are times at night when I bring in more cars than I usually do than tonight that I have to put the cars up on the lift, raise them so I could park cars underneath. That's how many cars sometimes I have. You know, when people don't pick up their cars, then day after day, week after week, and they're still here. And it is a frustration, you know, because, you know, you want to walk into a shop, get to work, but no, all you have to do is move cars. So I feel like a parking lot attendant. So we brought one in, now I'm going to go bring another one in. You know, especially when you do a small job, it's not a full restoration. You know, you're bringing in for a couple of little things to get done. You do it, and then before you know it, the car stays here for weeks and weeks and months and months. Let's take this Mustang, for example. This one came in 6 weeks ago. You know what? We did a small job on it. It was just overheating. We fixed the electric fan, and in 6 weeks, it's still here. Why? Can you tell me why it's still here? You know, the Fury is a small job. You know, my client left it here for the other day. We changed the master cylinder on it, get the brakes to work, and we got that going. Hopefully, he comes tomorrow and picks up the car. Or else I just sit here again. rusting out for tonight. I'm tired of bringing it in and out for 6 weeks, so I'm just gonna leave it outside for tonight. Let's take this Cadillac CTS. It's got a supercharged engine in it. It's a 427 LSX, and it's all custom fabrications on it. Now, we did not remove this engine from the car, but just wanted to show you there's a lot of custom work on this. And you know, you want to drop in the engine and get going, and before you know it, we have fittings that leak coolant. We didn't even get it started yet. We had to replace this fitting, and then we got that fixed. Then we found another leaky fitting right over here, this one here. So then we had to replace this fitting. You know, it doesn't end, you know. Then we just hooked up the battery, and now we noticed that the fuel pump doesn't work. But you know what? It's another day with frustration looking for what went wrong, or who knows what they did. Like I said, this car came into pieces. The engine was not in the car when it came in here. I did not remove the engine. And I just wanted to show you guys, these are some of the examples I go through sometimes with the cars in my shop. You know, I wanted to put back on the bumper today, but again, all these coolers are behind the bumper, so we couldn't put on the bumper. But after it's done, it's going to be one cool machine. Right now, it's a pain in the ass to get it done.
Some owners don't seem to want to pick up their cars when they're ready. Some cars seem to keep finding new ways to break and don't want to leave the shop. And to add to Nick's frustration recently, he's been short-handed.
I just found a good mechanic to work with me, and he comes in early, puts in his full effort to work with me. He loves his old cars. The only problem is, he just got injured on the second week he was working for me. He got injured at home. He had an operation on his leg, and of course, he can't work for 2 months. But in the meantime, all these cars in my shop that are stuck here, I gotta get him going. And these are not easy jobs sometimes. You know, like I was telling you this when I was playing with fittings. Dan came and helped me out earlier on this, so we had to get this done. Now we're doing a test to see tomorrow if it's leaking anything. I hope not. I see a stain right there. Now this one's leaking. Oh. I don't know. This is gonna be crazy. Oh, I don't know. It doesn't end. It doesn't end. You know, when you have so much plumbing, so many fittings, look at that. You think everything's gonna be good? Not really. Anyways, you know what? Let me dry this up. I just made a small tightening. We'll see. Tomorrow's another day. And you know, when you get jobs like this and you want to get it done, deliver a car to the customer, it's not easy. It's always it's a battle. Come, let's go further into the shop. Then I got, you know, I'm waiting for the shipping company to pick up this Roadrunner. It's done. It's ready. It's ready for delivery. I packed up all the belongings to the car that's going back to Australia. Everything's in the car, except it's still sitting here waiting for a shipping company to come and pick it up. It's a big car and it takes up a lot of space in my shop, but do I have a choice? Anyways, hope that shipping company comes and gets it very soon. Then you have another car like this Trans Am. This is another car that came again in pieces. It's all modifications, custom work, just like the Cadillac. And of course, make a fitting, find a spacer, find a bolt, find a bracket, make a bracket. All these little things take time. You know, as you're putting piece after piece after piece, things fit, things don't fit. I don't know. Then of course, he doesn't have everything. He bought the car without an engine. He built an engine last year. We had it on a dyno a few months ago. Now our job was to put it in, hook it up, and get it running. But then, you know, putting an engine in the car and hooking it up, then he has a new exhaust system, new suspension parts, and you know, all of that custom-made rear disc brakes, handbrake cables have to put on. It's all custom work. It's all time-consuming. Yeah, you know, it's a dream garage, but you know, when you have something and then you have to look for this, look for that, get this, got that, go on the computer, search for the right number, get it, then they tell you it's back order, and then the car's sitting here weeks and weeks and weeks, and you can't get it done. And you know, you want to get it out, get another project, get a new job, get a simple job. But try to get these cars out. It's a pain in the butt. I also wanted to say a lot of these cars, when people work on them, or the way they buy their cars, I've noticed a lot of mistakes. You know, customers come in with a list, they told me fix this, fix that. And then I find things on my own that I don't like. And, some of them are dangerous. Some things are wrong. Some things don't belong on the car. And I try to update the car, fix it right, make it safe, tell the customers that. And it doesn't end. Well, they come here because they have problems in the first place. Of course, we all know that. But it's a pain in the butt, let me tell you. Custom aluminum radiator. You think it bolts in? No, it doesn't bolt in that easy. Then you got a tall valve cover. You got a tall valve cover? You got to replace the power brake booster. Why? Because the booster touches the valve cover. There's so many things involved, People don't know that, Then you put a electro transmission, see if everything lines up, the linkages. Then you have a dry shaft. Then you have a dry shaft loop, I should say. Then you have a dual exhaust, custom exhaust. You think everything bolts in when you have a sway bar. Things get in the way. Then you have these handbrake cables you want to put in. Then you have a four-wheel disc. People give you the stuff, they put them on. Yeah, you think it's easy? No. I have a lot of guys that come and help me. I got Dan, I got Manny, I got Robert. Ask them. They know. They know what I go through. Things don't just bolt in. They think, we spend many, many nights here trying to finish these cars. And it's not easy. There are times when I've worked on cars, even on engines on the Dyno with Manny, with Robert, and we put sometimes many, many hours on a certain item or something on a car. I've put a lot of time on the Roadrunner, this car, engine on Dyno. And I don't charge the customer every hour. It gets ridiculous, But the hours just add up like crazy in many, many cases. But we try to do the best we can. For example, let's take Mike's Chrysler 300J, that right there. I have this car here. It's been here for a while, but it doesn't matter. I'm not blaming the customer on this because the car, I built the engine on it. We put the distributor on it, but I'm trying to get a curve kit in it because this is a mechanical tach drive distributor. Now, Manny and I were working on it the other night. We put a distributor in it and we wanted to hook it up. And all of a sudden, it didn't want to crank over. We had to bang on the starter to crank over. So the next thing you know is we're changing a starter. Why? It's a rebuilt starter, didn't last too long. We did a few tests the day we put the engine back in the car. We put a lightweight starter like the ones we use on the Dodge Dakota, the 5.9. So we used those starters, which is a lightweight. It's a good starter. But with my luck, it broke down. So Robert the other day had to replace it. And now the next day or so, we're going to work back on the distributor. These are things like you don't expect. You put a starter on it, a rebuild, hoping it's good, and you have it running for a few weeks. The next thing you know is it doesn't start anymore. But Mike, don't worry, I'll get it done. Don't worry. But anyways, here's another job. Got a Dodge pickup here. We had all the cables replaced on the handbrake, and Chrysler discontinued every part except for the equalizer piece. So I had both cables replaced in the back. The front cable's working. Then you got an intermediate cable. I bought every intermediate cable from everybody. And of course, Chrysler's discontinued and I can't get it to work. So here I am trying to find a way to find an intermediate cable to get this thing going. It's just one job after another, the frustration. And because I can't get the cable, can't get no handbrakes to work or e-brake to work, it's still here. We had the whole front end done on this pickup. We changed ball joints, front axle U-joints, the steering box, and the power steering pump. We had all that done. We had it here for a couple of weeks right now. We kept moving it every day in and out of the shop. And all of a sudden, a few days ago, there was no more power steering. And we had the power steering pump replaced. And of course, something went wrong with the pump. We got another pump. So now we changed it the other day, and we finally got it back working again. Again, another half a day spending changing a power steering pump, which we already had replaced. Now trying to find the intermediate cable so I can get the truck going out of here. Yeah, another one pain in my butt. I don't blame my customers for this, but you know what? It's as you can see, it's one job after another, and every job comes with a difficulty in many, many cases, and it's not easy. And I don't want to deliver a car not finished, and it's frustration. You got to find parking, got to park the car. You spend a lot of time talking to people, dealerships, contacts, trying to find the parts you want. And then if you do, sometimes they tell you back order. Then you have it here for days and days and weeks until you get it done. So sometimes, like I was telling you earlier, some of these jobs are not easy to get out of my shop. You know, I don't give up easy. I like to get these cars going, trucks, whatever it is. I want to get them going, and I give it my best shot. What can I do? Let me go show you some more nightmares. Let's go in the shop. I got pistons here I gave to the machine shop. They had them pressed on for me. You know, like they have a certain way. When you press on the pistons, I don't have the equipment to press on the piston with the connector rod wrist pin. And you know, if you look at it, you know, they only go a connector rod and the piston have a certain direction. Sure, you know, like when you put on this setup, all 8 should be the same way. But for some reason, these 4 are correct and these 4 are not correct. And you know, they've done the mistake before again. So what do I do now? Starting today, I mark them. Green paint with green paint. In other words, when you put the rod on the piston, please put it the way I marked them. This way you can't go wrong. So I gotta worry about that too. You know, the machine shop never made these mistakes before. I don't know why, maybe it's too busy, I have no idea. But it's my job to look after this. So now for this reason, these are correct, these are not correct. So these 4 have to go back. So what I gotta do now, I have to mark these 4, like so, get them marked, send them back, get them done, go get them again and bring it back. You know, sometimes you want to get the car done or the engine done, and you know, you get it, you give everything to the machine shop, get everything right. You know, a lot of times they do it good, but every time there's a little mistake, it costs me time and money, and more time to run around. Like I had someone go pick up these pistons for me, I didn't have a chance today, so I paid someone to go get them and bring them back. And then the next thing I know is these 4 rods are not correct. Now I'm gonna have to send them back to the machine shop, get them turned around, and bring them back. So in other words, get the job done so I can assemble this engine. Let's take a walk in the engine room. All right, I've got a full 40 here. I started replacing the cam bearings. Like I told everybody, when you install new cam bearings, you install them one at a time. I installed the first 3 bearings, the one in the rear, number 4, number 3, everything went well. Then I installed bearing number 2. Look what happens. If you take a look here, look, I've got 2 bolts on the cam and I'm trying to turn it. It doesn't want to turn. Of course, now we need time. You know, sometimes I replace bearings on and off. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I try different brands and sometimes it's all the same story. If you take a look here, look, I got to use a pry bar or a big screwdriver to turn it. So what I do in this case right now that I know, because I always install 1 bearing at a time, and every time I install 1 bearing, I put the camshaft in, and I want to make sure it turns free. And as it goes good, you keep installing the next bearing. So bearing number 2 needs to be polished, so I can make the cam go in and out smooth and turn free. So I got to spend another, who knows how much time involved to get this bearing loose to turn the cam free. Here's another problem right here. Well, it's not a problem. It's just that, you know, you get involved even with the body shop. You know, I've sent a couple of cars to the body shop. I got George from CGA that tells me, Nick, I need this, I need that. So it's my job, you know, to look for the parts and send them to him. So I had to call one of my suppliers, find a hinge. So I bought a spare one for Dan's Challenger that's getting painted at the body shop. He needed a left lower door hinge. So this is what I bought. I bought 2 of them. I bought 1 spare. So then I had them sandblasted, like so. I painted it primer, and now I got to deliver it to his body shop so I can get the job done. So it's not just working on engines, working on cars, always running off for parts, make them nice and clean, and of course have them delivered. And then let's go in the Dyno room. Let's go see what we got there. Okay, so this is my favorite room in the shop. Yes, we got a 360 here. It's a stroker, 408 cubic inch. And, you know, we're looking at the horsepower we're trying to find. But we have 2 issues with this. Now, you see, my customer told me, Nick, take the engine out of the car and dyno test it. Okay, so we took it out, we installed it on the dynamometer, and let's get it rolling. Now, we were hoping to get 4.25 horsepower. All we got is like 380 horsepower. Nowhere near what we're looking for. But not only that, the oil pressure, it falls at 1450 psi and idle hot at 950 RPM. So that's no good. We took out the oil pan, we cleaned the strainer, we put a new oil pump, threw it back on, and it made no changes. So, we spent a few hours on that, but it doesn't matter. We're going to figure out the problem. So now, here's the situation. We're going to have to tear it down further to see where the oil pressure loss is. So here's another battle for me. It's not like an engine. You put in the dyno, got your horsepower, and then throw it back in the car. But anyways, it's another search we got to do. Fix his oiling system, and I'll hopefully get more horsepower out of it. Another one, pain in the butt. So here I am in my shop with all these beautiful cars. And of course, with all these flags that come from all the viewers from around the world that watch me on YouTube. Yeah, it is a dream garage. There is, and many days, many times it is. But let me tell you, sometimes behind the scenes, it's tough. It's not easy. But we do the best to get things done, fix the correct way, the best I can, and make everybody happy. Sometimes you have so much frustration, and then you say, you know what, let's look at the good side. I take a look at my Hemi, my 528 Hemi, my Pride and Joy, just like my Vanishing Point Challenger, which is right here. And, they cheer me up because, it gives me passion to work on everybody's cars, to make them look as good as I can, make them work as good as they can. And, like I was telling many people, that's what the cars are here for. And, they're not perfect. If they were perfect, they won't be here in the first place. And then as you take them apart, you fix one thing, you find other things, which is normal, which is common. But sometimes I find the stupidest problems on cars and the dumbest things I've ever seen. After doing it for so many years, what I've seen on cars, what people do, is ridiculous. Sometimes I say, I wish I never took a certain car. I had some cars in the past that I've taken in. I'm not going to mention the name or the type of car it was. That, if you start taking it apart and you find problem after problem after problem after problem. And it's a lot of custom-made, homemade stuff. And then you say, you know what, I wish I never took this car. Sometimes you just say, here's a few bucks, get your car out of here. I've come to that point in some cases. And it looks like I'm going to have to go back to that in some cases because, some of the cars you don't want to touch. Some cars are cursed, like you fix one thing and it's a chain reaction. Manny told me the same thing. Robert told me the same thing. So, they've been in the field with me and we see what we go through and it's tiring. It's frustration. You gotta have the passion for it. If you gotta have old cars need a lot of loving, tender care because, they're old. They need help. They need to be massaged or whatever to get going because, why? They're old, they're tired, and, they've been sitting around for many years. Things dry up, things get stale, and it's our job to fix them, make them run again for, of course, the future generation. Hopefully that joins in and enjoys it. Because owning a shop like this, you gotta have the passion to work with it. Sometimes, like I said, they're good with the bad, but at the end, when you got a product, a car that became a basket case like myself, and then you make it brand new and it works perfect, is what you enjoy the most. So you guys, if you ever want to open up a shop like myself, it comes with the good and the bad. So here you have it. And here it is, I'm telling you guys what it's all about. The Dream Garage. After a long day's work, it's mail time. Okay, so one of my favorite parts. Okay, let's see what our viewers have sent us this week. Let's take a look. Okay, we'll start with the closest one from Canada, of course. And here we go. And this one is from Mississauga, Ontario. And what do we got here? Yeah, we've been to Mississauga many times. I've been in Motorama. It's also in oh, okay. Here we go. Okay, to Nick and the gang. Had a great time at the barbecue Saturday. This was our first visit, but I'm sure it won't be the last. I promised my wife that next year she gets a full day shopping in Montreal. That's good. Thanks again. If ever we win the lottery, I'm going to find a nice 609 Plymouth Satellite and have you build me a 440. Merci à tout. Clark and Lynn. And here they are. This is here in the shop. They came at the barbecue. Yeah, we had a lot of visitors at the barbecue. If I remember, I've counted close to almost 100 out-of-towners. Massachusetts, Ontario, Michigan, Georgia, New Brunswick, Vermont, and of course a lot, like I said, Ontario, lots of guys. But who knows, maybe there were others too, I wasn't sure. But I appreciate it. I wanted to thank everybody for visiting us here on the barbecue. But we had a great time. Thanks, you guys. Clark and Lynn, thank you very much. This will be in my office. And this was from Cambridge, Ontario. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's open it up. Oh, wow. What do we got here? That's the supercharged 440 that DMT Billet has built. Here they are. As seen on Nick's Garage. Is that something or what, you guys? Check it out. I didn't expect this one. And I wanted to say that these are the two guys that came from Cambridge, Ontario, from DMT Billet, that they brought a 440 that made about 800 horsepower of my dyno. They did a great job, you guys. I have to say that a lot of things were custom made on this 440 supercharged. I've seen on Nick's Garage. Yes, it was dyno tested here last year in our shop. And if you guys wanted to get a shirt like that, check out their website. They'll be more than glad to get you one. By DMT Billet. That's their site, you guys, right there. I've seen on Nick's Garage. DMT Billet. I remember very well when they came in, and we had a great time, you guys. We put the engine on the dynamometer. Beautiful setup, performed well. We got some good horsepower out of it, and I got to thank you guys for coming by. And of course, thank you for the t-shirt. And George wants to thank you because he also sent one for George the cameraman. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. And now from the USA. Here we go. All right, this is a letter. Let's see what it's got. Okay, hi Nick. I am a fan. However, when I bought a t-shirt, it was faded and printed crooked. I am mailing this shirt back to the address, hoping for a good replacement. Hang in there. Love the troubleshooting. Sincerely, Pete.
Pete, we're so sorry that you had a bad experience with your order from the merch store. Remember, if anyone's not happy with the quality of their item from Teespring, just shoot them an email with a photo of your gear and a description of the problem. We find that they will gladly send a replacement at no cost and will not ask for a return. Thanks for understanding and for your support of the channel by buying our merchandise.
Okay, and I want to make sure to get it right. If not, we will. Thanks for watching us from New Orleans. Thank you. And we saved the furthest last, and here it is. It comes from underneath the planet, from down under. And this is from Australia. Okay, what do we got here? Yeah, you know, we got a car that's going to go to Australia. It's right here in the shop. I'm waiting for the transportation company to come and get it. Whenever they can. Okay. Ooh, what do we got here? Wow. Oh, look at that. It's a Charger RT. Yeah, that's the Australian Charger. Hey, you know, it's a sexy looking car, let me tell you. Wow. Any letters in this? No letters, eh? All right, this is a beautiful Charger. This is beautiful. All right, I'm going to put it with my die-cast collection. This is unique, very unique. And I want to thank Kay Welsh from Down Under. And I want to thank you very much. Thank you, Kay. Kay Welsh from Australia. So anyways, I wanted to thank everybody for watching me tonight. Of course, I've been talking about my behind the scenes. How great it is to work in a dream garage. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not. But anyways, let's forget all that. I just want to thank you guys. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe and like. And I love you guys. And thank you very much. And of course, see you till next time. And you guys, if you look down below the video, we have a whole bunch of merchandise that you guys can buy. So whatever you like, buy it, love it, wear it, and enjoy it. And help spread the word of Nick's Garage. And if you have some time, check out our Patreon page. We have extra content and you guys can watch it and take it from there. And we'll see you next time.